Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. Thank you for joining me for this video. So as you can see from today's title, we're going to be reviewing a full face of Revolution Beauty Makeup Revolution, Makeup Obsessions, I Heart Revolution, Revolution Pro, XX Revolution. So if you want to see a full face, and then please keep on watching. So already I have applied my brows and I have a foundation, just because I have already reviewed these before, so there's no point in me going in with them again. But the foundation that I use, obviously you can see the full review, like the full quick face 1 minute video on my Instagram, so head over there. That should already be up, so you've probably come to this video just to see my thoughts on the products. This is, I use the Revolution Conceal and Hydrate F10 foundation. This is my favourite. It matches me perfectly, like literally perfectly. I love it. It's great for all skin types in my personal opinion. Doesn't feel greasy, doesn't feel oily. It's full coverage, and I only applied a pump. There's still a little bit of stuff going on, but other than that, this is a perfect foundation for me. I love it. It's probably the best drugstore foundation, the best Revolution one that I have come across. So that is great. For those that are wondering, I am in the shade F10. I'm an NC25 to NC27 in MAC, but yeah, I use the F10, which fits me perfectly, I think, against all of the foundations. So yeah, yes to that one. For brows, I actually did go in with the Revolution Soap Brow. This is probably one of my favourite products from Revolution. They ace this product. Obviously, of course, the whole soap brow thing, you can just go in with your usual soap, or that pear soap. Is it the pear soap? I'm not too sure. And I did go in with the XX Revolution brow thing in the shade medium brown, I think it is. It's rubbed off, but I use this religiously anyway. It's quite nice. It really gives me a really natural brow. But yeah, that's what I'm going for these days. So yeah, highly recommend these two products, especially, yeah, this one, but this one is a good one. I've been using this literally every single day. I've got the Iconic London one. That's okay, but it's pricey. This one's £6, completely worth it. Yeah. First product we're going to go in with after foundation is, of course, concealer. Now the concealer that I picked up is the Revolution Pro Ultimate Coverage Crease Proof Concealer in the shade C5. I am F10 in foundations and C5 in all the concealers. This contains hyaluronic acid, collagen and antioxidant and peptides, which is all great, especially if you're into skincare like me. It's crease proof, waterproof, stretchable. This concealer moves on your face with your face for the ultimate coverage while still looking natural. So apparently this is a high pigment to offer full coverage while being infused with those ingredients that I told you. Now I have seen people use this and it's covered up tattoos, so I've always wanted to try this. This does remind me a little bit of the P. Louise one, which I'm not mad at. I've never really tried the P. Louise. I think I've tried the P. Louise base once or twice, but obviously I still use my concealers and whatnot, which I'm not really mad at, but I might try in the future. I have tried a colour bases, which I quite like. So yeah, but I'm going to go in with this concealer today, and I'm going to take any old brush. The brushes that I've been loving these days are the Drip Bay brushes. These are really lovely. So I'm going to take this concealer. It's quite thick in consistency. It is quite thick, and I'm just going to, oh yeah, I'm going to try not to apply too much. This doesn't move, like it's got quite a thick consistency, but it doesn't feel drying, which is really nice. And I'm going to apply the rest of it to my forehead. I wouldn't advise putting it on your hand like I did and then applying it, just because it doesn't move. So the concealer actually has really crazy coverage. I think you guys, if I come up close, like I'm finding that it's insane coverage. However, I think I applied a little bit too much, just because I feel as if this is going to be quite heavy under the eye. It feels lightweight, but I feel as if, like, if you have wrinkles like I do, or if you're prone to creasing, I want to see if this really is creaseless. But I feel as if unless you set with the right setting powder, it's going to feel a little bit heavy throughout the day. But I think the shade match is pretty nice. I would have gone brighter. However, we do have a bright setting powder or pressed powder that I love using, which we're going to do that anyway. Cream contour, which I'm really excited to use. Now this is a foundation stick, but I know, like with a lot of foundation sticks, I've got a hair on my foundation, and I have here the Makeup Obsessions Quick Stick Base, Conceal and Contour stick. I got this in DO2, so I'm guessing this is dark 2. £6, which is super affordable. So this is a buildable coverage in a creamy, super blendable formula, kitted out with skin loving ingredients. Hyaluronic acid helps to hydrate, while papaya extract can help to increase skin's radiance, and is known for having its moisturizing properties. So again, this comes in 21 shades. It's cruelty free and vegan, but I'm going to take the shade DO2. DO2 is a medium to deep skin tones with a warm undertone. I'm just going to use this as a contour, so we're going to go in our contour areas. Oh, that seems a really nice shade. This seems really creamy so far, which is really, really lovely. It didn't feel dry. It didn't feel dry like the Fenty one. This felt really, really creamy. Now I'm wondering, because it's so creamy, is it going to move around on the face too much? Let's see. So we're going to go in with a brush that I like to use, and I'm just going to go in and start to blend this in. I'm going to go in with these areas first, just so they don't dry down too much, because I don't want my jawline to be too heavy, the shadow there to be too heavy. This blends really, really easily, which is nice. It doesn't feel like it's leaving a weird cast or anything like that. The shade is quite nice for me as well, which is quite decent. I like that. I'm not mad at it so far. Let me blend the forehead first. What I like about this, I'm just going in with one of my microfiber sponges. These are really nice for just picking up any residue. What I'm finding is that I feel as if this is going to be that type of stick to move. So if you're going to wear it as a foundation, I'd probably say just use it as like a contour stick. That's just my advice to you. Or like a highlighting stick or something. If there is not much coverage to it, as you can see, we've still got that little bump there, which I'm not mad about. I quite like it. It's just like my skin seeping through. Finding that the concealer, I did obviously apply a little bit too much. Like I said, I'm just going to leave it. That's why I left it for the time being, and then now I've taken off the residue, which is really, really nice, so we can prepare to then set. Sometimes I find if I apply too much concealer, I then leave it for a while, let the residue sit on the top, and then I remove it, and then I go in with setting powder. I've used this many times before. This is not new. This here is the Revolution Pro CC Perfecting Pressed Powder. This is one of my favourite products from Revolution. If you're looking for a Charlotte Tilbury airbrush finish dupe the powder, this is magnificent. I'm in the shade beige. Now it doesn't really seem beige shade, it's like quite a fair kind of pale colour, which I really like because it brightens. This sits so magically under the under the under eyes, on the forehead, blurs. It's just amazing in my opinion. Now I'm going to need to find the right brush for this, because this is some good stuff. Now of course you can just go in with a damp sponge and swirl, which I tend to do. Actually I might do today, and then I pat off the excess with a brush. The brush that I like to pat the excess off is a little bit expensive. This is the Scott Barnes 64. If you want anything from Scott Barnes, the 64 brush is probably my favourite thing ever. It literally fits right into the nooks and crannies of your eye to sweep away powder. You could probably use this as like blush, but this is my favourite like setting powder brush currently. I'm going to make this sit right under the eye. You can see already how this works. It is insane. I was going to use the concealer that we just used, however I did actually go in with the Conceal and Define Infinite Concealer. This is a great one for bases. I use it all the time, other than my ABH one. This is really, really lovely. It sits on the eyes perfectly. I just pat it in using any old brush. This is the Drip Bay. I can't actually remember what number this is, but this is part of the 7-piece set. It's great. Let's put some 2 stickers on my eyes, just so that I'm going to do sort of like a winged out look. For those that keep asking, I literally just use, like, you know, like sticky labels. I just cut them up. Maybe that's just me, and it works perfectly. So the eyeshadow palette that we're going to be using today is this bad boy right here, which I know everyone has been going mad for. I have been, because I wanted to try this out instead of the one that it looks like. I think you guys know what I mean. So this here is the XX Revolution Extravaganza Shadow Palette. This is how huge it is right here. It is massive. Comes with how many shades? 60 shades, and you get this for £28. It's currently out of stock, which is sad. I get why. If you haven't seen this yet, you're missing out. Like, you're literally missing it. Look at this palette. Does it not remind you of the James Charles palette? It does. I have not tried that out. I will not be trying out the James Charles palette, so I'm glad I've got this one now, because that's what I need. I have a array of shimmers in the middle, plus a huge black, which is awful, because sometimes like I use blacks all the time and they run out really, really easily. And then we've got a selection of colours and then neutrals down the bottom, so I'm excited to use this, which I'm going to be going with now. So I'm going to zoom you in. I'm probably going to do a voiceover just so the video is not too long. And yeah, okay guys, so taking these shades, I'm not going to show you the shades individually just because I don't know the names, but we're going to take this blue shade. This blue shade was beautiful. I need more shades like this in more eyeshadow palettes. It's such a gorgeous oceany, deep ocean teal shade. Then we took the purple. Now the purple is really, really lovely and blended in really, really nice with the blue. Sometimes purples and blues can get a little bit patchy, but this one didn't. Then we blended it up to the backbone with this pink shade. I can't pronounce my B's today. Then we went with a lighter purple shade before we went in with this pastel shade. Now this pastel shade, guys, I was living for. I generally didn't think this was going to show up. The next clip is a little bit dodgy just because I was trying to apply the shimmers, and guys, I'm not all that too impressed with the shimmers. The shimmers were a little bit dead for me. Took about 10 minutes to actually get what I wanted to get out of the shimmers. And then we went with a normal gel eyeliner then we mixed it with the black shadow. Now the black shadow is powerful, but it is a little bit like, there's a little bit fallout, it's a little bit everywhere, but the black is powerful. Then we went in with the greens, and the greens were absolutely stunning and really, I think, made the look. And this is the final look. We added some graphic liner and lashes. Okay, so the eyes are done. I am living for them. I was inspired by the amazing makeup by Chelsea X. I'll put a picture of her, or I'll leave her picture of this look. Similar, it's like, it's not the same, but I was inspired, the graphic liner, I was inspired by her. So yeah, she is absolutely amazing, a new favourite of mine that I've been watching. And now we move on to the rest of the face. We are going to start off with, I'm going to go in with this first because I want to add a little bit more warmth to the face. So we have here the I Heart Revolution Chocolate Bar, the Chocolate Contour Palette. So I got this in the light shade. This seemed pretty dark. Now I'm a tan shade, but this seemed pretty dark. So this is the light one. This is what it looks like. If I open it up for you, it smells like a chocolate bar. So it comes with a highlight and a bronzer shade right here. I think this is relatively affordable as well. I'm just going to go in with one of my Inglot brushes. This is the Moira brush. I'm just going to take a little bit. This seems to come out quite a lot. I'm just going to go in on the certain areas that I want a little bit more chiseled. Actually a really nice palette. I'm going to use the highlighter in that as well in a moment. But next we have here the blush palette. Now this is a new blush palette by Revolution, and this is just labelled a blush palette. This is what the packaging of it looks like, and then when you open it, it comes with 3 brushes. Now this is right up my alley, like right up my alley. I love I'm just in love with blush lately. So again, I'm going to take my Inglot X Moira brush. I love these brushes, they're really nice. I'm going to take the middle shade just because that for me seems my favorite out of all of them. That's really nice. Okay, yes, quite out there today with the blush. I know I'm going to tone it down just a tad because it is quite intense, but this is a really lovely blush. I am heavily a fan of this. I really like it. So far there's nothing that I'm like about. Like, I'm literally in love with everything. This is really lovely. So we're going to go back in with that chocolate bar palette, and I'm going to take the highlighter shade, which is this one right here. Ooh, that is nice. This is really lovely. Quite like this. It's not patchy, it's not like chalky, it's not thick, like, how do I explain? It's not powdery. That's it, that's the word. It's not powdery in any way, shape or form. I'm just going to apply. This is quite a glam look for me, but I'm living for it. But yeah, I quite like this. It's not powdery at all or anything like that. I am really impressed actually. I picked up 2 lip liners. One is the Renaissance lip liner in Glory, which is Makeup by Tammy's favourite liner. But then I also picked up the shade Fling, which is in their other Satin Kiss lip liner range. And then I also went and got the Revolution Pro Hydro Gloss in the shade Tainted, because I do love a gloss. So we're going to go in with these 2 today. Okay, so I've applied the lips, as you guys can see. I actually am quite a fan of this lip combo. I did actually go in with the Glory lip liner instead, because I thought the shade Fling was a little bit like too warm, so I wanted a little bit more of like an ombre dark outline. And then the gloss is actually really nice. It's a bit thicker in consistency than I would have hoped, but yeah, I do tend to like quite thin lip glosses just because then you can pack them on, but these tend to be quite, like, they're a little bit, not sticky, but there's a little bit of residue. I could have done with a little bit less, but of course you can just wipe off and whatnot. But yeah, this is the look that we have going on. I'm quite a fan of it actually. I think my favourite thing out of everything is the eyeshadow palette. Like, The eyeshadow palette is next level. Like, I think you guys would have seen from my tutorial how impressed I was with the eyeshadow palette. The only things that I didn't like from the eyeshadow palette was the shimmers. The shimmers are just not great in my opinion. I've seen better shimmers from Revolution. Obviously this is XX Revolution, something like that, but it's the same. They probably hopefully use the same formers. I do think the shimmers need to be improved on, but the mattes are incredible.